Welcome to our daily reflection for this Saturday, September 27th. And today it's about how the Lord is our protection and He is our firewall. In fact, if we look at the psalm for today, it talks about how God seeks to protect us. In fact, the responsorial psalm comes from the prophet Jeremiah 31. And so that's our hymn for today. And it's about the refrain is, the Lord will guard us as a shepherd guards his flock. And how great is God's desire to guard us? Well, we find out in the gospel when Jesus foretells that he will suffer and die. He will give his life as the good shepherd to save his sheep. And then we have this idea of God's divine protection as one of the key themes in the first reading from the prophet Zechariah. And I love what God says. He tells Zechariah, see that this angel who's got a measuring line in his hand, and he's measuring around the city of Jerusalem. And then, the angel says, tell the people who live in Jerusalem that I'm an encircling wall of fire. So this idea of a firewall. You ever hear of cybersecurity and the need to have a good firewall? Well, that image of a firewall is this image used in the prophet Zechariah of the Lord in measuring and encircling and guarding as a wall of fire around Jerusalem against her enemies who would try to breach the walls of Jerusalem and into the city. And so God is the original firewall. And in fact, if we think about this in our own spiritual life, we know on the internet there's all these viruses and hackers that seek to break in and deceive and do all those things. And there's something even worse than our computer and our software system or our hard drives that can be infected, and that is our soul. And when it comes to spiritual firewall, God is our firewall. He is our cybersecurity, our soul security, our spiritual security. And so he promises to daughter Zion that I'm coming to dwell among you, and that will be their protection. God is the one who protects his people. And at the end of the day, there's nothing that the people of God can do against their greater enemies to protect themselves. Ultimately, their protection comes from the Lord. And we need to realize that that is the case for us as well. Ultimately, at the end of the day, our security must be from the Lord. Let him be your firewall. Do you see God and his presence as the key to your security? If you do, you won't delay and give up or just be distracted in prayer. You will put prayer first, and you'll put God's presence as something that you have to have in your midst that you may be safe. So let us abide in the Lord and find safety and security in the ultimate and true and eternal firewall that seeks to protect us in the heavenly Jerusalem forever. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.